Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
The WWE has once again changed the way we're going to watch TV forever, and we are going to talk about that on the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel very shortly with, of course, my colleague, Mr. Burrows. Evening, sir.
Bonnet de douche, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good,
Thought
my
I'd wear
man.
me a Del Boy hat for you tonight, mate. It's a monumental day for wrestling, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be sitting here having this chat so soon. I thought something like this would happen, but yeah, wow, what a day, mate.
What a day, what a day. We'll get into the big announcement from the WWE, but there's been a lot going on today in the WWE. Massive stuff going on. The first one we'll talk about was a potential signing from the WWE. Now, that has been an update since. We'll say what has happened before that Okada was meant to have pretty much decided that he wants to join the WWE. It has come out since that those rumors are a little bit premature, but Okada in WWE, I don't know what surprised me more, Andy, the fact that he signed that he wants to go to WWE or the fact that he's meant to be starting off in NXT.
NXT. Shinsuke started in NXT.
Yep.
I think it would just be a case. I'd be very surprised if he stays in NXT long.
Hmm.
But it goes back to what me and you were probably saying 3-4 months ago. When do we now see NXT as we don't see it as Raw, SmackDown, NXT? That like me and you have said for the last few months now. It's not gone are the days of developmental NXT. Gone are the
Yeah.
days of it's the training camp. I think them days are long gone now. And if this does happen, if this signing does happen, and he does go straight into NXT, I think it speaks volumes from where NXT are going. I think it's going to play into everything that's coming up. If you think we're going to get into TV deals later, obviously NXT have got a new one coming up with
Yeah.
CW,
Hmm.
so that's going to be more mainstream than it. All right, we've got it on the network over here in the UK, but to go on
Well,
the
that
C,
could change.
well, that could, yeah, we're going to get into all of that, I'm guessing. But for now, we've got it on the network because it's
Yeah.
not on TNT Sport over here anymore.
No.
I think it just goes to show how far WWE are now going with this new partnership that they've got. You can now tell, I think, from everything that's happened today, that obviously me and you are going to get into, where they think the future of the company lies, where they think it's going to go, like the digital side of it. I think these TV deals are going to be few and far between now. Obviously, we're going to get into the Raw and the SmackDown, but yeah, as far as the signing goes, I hope it does happen. And I think he'll be great in NXT, Matt. I think he'll be if he does start in NXT. I think it'll be really good, and it's going to elevate the talent, the people that he could potentially work with as well. So it's not just going to benefit him, and he's coming to WWE. We said yesterday when we done the crossover pod.
Mm.
Let's be honest, WWE is the big leagues, and anyone who says it isn't is in Fantasyland. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that derogatory. I don't mean that horribly. It's if you're playing in the championship, you want to play in the Premier League. If you're playing college football, you want to play in the NFL. If you're in independent wrestling, you want to wrestle in the WWE. That's just fact. So yeah, I think it's a good move, mate. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm just worried because I mean WWE did drop the ball slightly with Nakamura for a few, not in
Mm.
NXT as such. I mean
NXT was amazing. If they ever get back to that version of him, remember the intros, remember the
Mhm.
takeovers.
Yeah.
Him and Bobby Roode at that time, for
Yeah.
me, were the hot commodities in NXT. And yeah, they obviously Bobby Roode got injured, and Nakamura hasn't quite hit the heights since he's come up to the main roster. But that's not his fault. That's just purely down to creative.
Yeah, definitely was down to create for sure. We'll see how that pans out. I say rumors have come out since that that's a little bit premature, but we'll see. We'll ultimately see. Then the second bit of news was that Dwayne the Rock Johnson is now on the board of TKO, the parent company of WWE. He rang the stock exchange bell this morning. Vince was there minus his mustache, and Ari Emanuel looked like he had, well, just come off a tanning machine, and The Rock was there, Hunter was there. I mean, what does that mean for The Rock? I mean, that is obviously there's rumors now intensified. He tweeted again about being ahead of the table a little while ago, probably about an hour or so ago. Is this now sort of nailed on that we're going to get what we want to get with Rock and Roman?
Yeah, I think this speaks to a lot of things, really. I was having to think about, obviously, me and you were texting backwards and forwards today. It just Yeah, we're going to get Rock and Roman. That's going to happen, mate. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens this Saturday night. That's why we're super excited. It's our favorite pay-per-view anyway.
It is.
I'm even more excited at the fact that I might get to see The Rock and Roman. Something could happen at the Rumble. I think this just solidifies, it's easy for me to say. If you look at the way the business is now with former wrestlers taking lead roles, we already know about Paul Levesque, Triple H, where he's gone. You now throw The Rock into this mix, probably the most pop. Him and John Cena in the quote unquote wrestling business that have gone into the entertainment industry, into Hollywood. They're probably the most followed on social media. They're probably the most recognizable. So this is a sensible move for WWE. And the partnership that the endeavor that they're doing now, this makes good business sense. So we can put the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania, kind of put that to the side, and you kind of see now, right? You've got now The Rock involved. You've got Triple H involved. All these people that they know the bit. You've got business. You've got wrestling people making wrestling decisions. I think it can only be good for the business. You've only got to look at The Rock to know that he's got an amazing business mind as well. He started, was it $6 promotions that he started?
Yep.
I think again, this just proves how far the wrestling spectrum has changed from what me and you know as professional wrestling. I'm gonna go. I think them days are dead. I think them days. It work like I say. We're gonna get into it all tonight on the channel. I think them days are gonna be long gone within the next year. I think where we're going, especially the start of 2025, where we know what we're going to get into about the Netflix announcement with Raw and SmackDown. I think what me and you grew up with as professional wrestling. I think, wow, mate. I think you're going to get kids that have just come into the industry now. They're going to look at us like we've got two heads when we talk about, oh, it was only Monday Night Raw and that was it. And it was one. This move with The Rock just proves to you how far wrestling has come and how much wrestling has changed from what me and you call professional wrestling. They're not going to go away from the identity. I think that will always be there in the history. I think from what me and you know as professional wrestling, I think that's, oh, geez, mate, that's going to be long gone.
Certainly is. I don't know what I'll make of the Rock thing. We'll see. I mean, I wondered how long before Cena is on the board of directors at
He's
TK.
retiring soon. He'd make if you have him as kind of a not silent partner, because you can't see him technically, but you know what I mean. If you could, the more people you can have in that have been involved in the industry and into the business. Me and you have always said this. It's like you want wrestling people. When me and you talk about creative, and we spoke to Vince Russo, and we spoke to Eric Bischoff. You want someone like Eric Bischoff in a creative. You want someone like a Paul Heyman in a creative. So why would you not want The Rock, John Cena, Triple H, all these guys, The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, given so much to the business? If you can somehow get these people making wrestling decisions and business decisions for the industry that we all love, then it can only be good.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this brings on the Rock and Roman that we've been talking about.
I think it'll happen, mate.
Oh yeah, I think it's just a matter of way. It's obviously a matter of way.
It's got to be, mate. The Rock is scheduled to be in Australia. I don't. We're not going to get that at Chamber. We're going to get teased at Chamber. They're going to take us to dinner, but they're not going to quite take us home after dinner, if that makes
Not
sense.
going to pay the bill.
Then they're going to pay. Yeah, still have to pay the bill. But I think WrestleMania is, you can't have these two fight. I think Roman fights both nights. I still do. I know we're going to later in the coming months we'll get to our WrestleMania shows and me and you done this exactly this time last year. We had months of build, and we kind of figured it out if you go back and listen to what we said. But I think we get Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, either night one or night two.
I think so. I certainly think so. Another bit of news that come out today, again, we've got a little bit before we get on to the big one. Kevin Patrick, he's now been dropped as a lead announcer of SmackDown. JR's AEW contract is very vastly coming up, as you pointed out earlier on. I don't think this was a big surprise. I think I think he's a likable character, but I just don't think that he suits the booth much.
The thing, they haven't found anyone. I say anyone. You've got Michael Cole. In my opinion, we've done our top 10. He, for me, is the GOAT. I love him. They haven't found like that connection since JR and the King. And again, people call us old men and dinosaurs. It's what we grew up with, but they haven't, and they've tried so many. If you think how many times they've tried on commentary, geez, you can go back to Samoa Joe, CM Punk, all these, like, you've had some big time wrestlers in the commentary booth. I think he's a likable guy. I hope he stays within the business and, maybe backstage. I don't know what he'll do, but it's happened before. Jonathan Coachman tried it. I'm going to throw something out there. I've got a feeling Pat McAfee comes back.
Oh, please.
College season's finished now. The NFL season's coming to an end. I think it's going to be Wade Barrett, Michael Cole, Pat McAfee. Don't be surprised if you see JR come back on a very, if Austin fought a Mania, he'd be calling his match. I think JR will, I think he'll end his career in WWE. It's his home. He's going to come back. I don't think he'll end it with AEW. I've got a feeling it's Pat McAfee though.
I hope so. I love Pat McAfee.
I love him.
Does that mean that Corey Graves will be the lead for SmackDown?
Corey, yeah, could be.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Cole's already mentioned that he wants to retire in the next 2 years, so maybe it's like a passing of the baton. I think again, Michael Cole will stay active within the business. I think he could stay backstage, but I think you're right. I think you could have like Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, Wade Barrett,
Vic Joseph, NXT.
Yeah, NXT could. Yeah, very good comment. Very good on what he does on NXT. Overshadows Booker T every week. Booker T's
fucking ain't hard.
Yeah, I'm not really. I like him as a wrestler. I'm not really sold on him as a commentator. But yeah, I think it's interesting. But this is WWE do this recently. It's a bit of a hot potato. This SmackDown comment. To be fair, Raw has been as well.
Yeah.
Hasn't since JR and the King. And we that's what we grew up with. It's what we knew every week. They were the voices of wrestling.
Yes.
If you go back to the 80s, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, all of them kind of guys. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, mate. But yeah, I think Pat McAfee.
We will see. Well, we won't have long to find out because
Nope.
SmackDown is in a few days.
SmackDown's in a couple of days, mate.
But let's just get on with it. Let's just get to the big news that come out this evening. So, well, to come out today. Sorry, it took us all a bit by surprise. We was expecting news of a TV deal for the WWE. This isn't a TV deal specifically for the US. This is a TV deal for all the countries outside of the US. From January 2025, we will be doing Netflix and suplexes on a Tuesday, with the WWE are bringing, or on a Monday, the WWE are bringing their flagship program Monday Night Raw to Netflix. They're bringing Friday Night SmackDown to be on Netflix. The pay-per-views, all the documentary series will be on Netflix as well. 10-year deal, $5 billion paid over 10 years. Initially, what's your thoughts?
Fantastic. I work on the road a lot, so that download button on Netflix is incredible for me. And if I can do that for Raw, I think it's and the amount of people I put on my Facebook today, something about this is great news, and a lot of my friends who don't have Sky or whatever, we all know how expensive Sky TV is, and Netflix is what, £14 a month for advert free. You can pay £7 and you have the odd advert every couple of minutes. A few people messaged me today on the phone just saying, how's it going to work with the adverts and stuff like that? Because obviously it's going to be on Netflix. So interesting to see how that all comes in. I can
tell you.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I'm interested to know.
WWE Raw will not have ads for Netflix subscribers.
Wow. So from what I texted you earlier, from what I'm hearing, Raw's only going to be 2 hours when it starts on Netflix, from what I heard today. And that goes into what you just said about the adverts for a Netflix subscriber. I think that's a sensible move, Raw, to go back to 2 hours. And it's a clever way of doing it. They've done it without actually going, well, we're going back to 2 hours. It's just advert free on Netflix. So they've saved face there. I think it's a great move. And I think it's where I think it's where wrestling's going. I think it's where our Premier League football is eventually going to go once the Sky deal's up. I mean, it's crazy, mate. I can sit in America, or I can sit in any other country, and I can watch at 3 o'clock. Me and you can watch our beloved Tottenham at 3 o'clock in Spain, America, wherever we are, Canada, but we can't sit in our UK and watch our team.
No.
I think that's where sport is going to go on a subscription basis. They're going to go, right, Adam, you give us £20 a month, you can watch every Tottenham game, Premier League game at 3 o'clock, and you'll be like, done, sold. Even if you don't watch it live when you come back from Canby or wherever you are, you'll be like, I'll just catch up on the Spurs game. I think it's a great move for WWE. Again, I think it just proves where wrestling is nowadays. If me and you had sat here even 5 years ago, 2 years ago, and gone, ads, Raw's going to be on Netflix, you would have been like, all right, Burrows, have you been drinking? I think it's an incredible move. I think it's going to please so many people that can't afford Sky TV. Sky TV subscription, if you're at the top end of the Sky TV subscription, you're looking at £120 a month. And if you throw TNT into the mix, obviously that's where Raw and SmackDown are. You're throwing another £50 into the mix. So I think this is an incredible move for WWE. I think we can pretty much kiss goodbye to WWE Network over here once that starts.
Yeah.
I think the network is, I'll be ashamed to see it go, but if I get everything that I get on it now, I love the documentaries. Most of them are on Peacock TV now over in the States. So I know I've got a lot of friends in America. They haven't got, we've got Peacock TV in the States. So yeah, I think the network will come next January. I mean, I'm Netflix subscriber already, so it's
Me too.
win-win. Yeah, mate. Just the fact that I can get up on a Tuesday morning, click download, leave my house, and I can watch Raw throughout the day. You haven't got to wait for me to get up, but Adam already watched it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I can just catch up during the day. You haven't got to worry about, I've got to get home and I've got to flick through all the adverts. I think I think it just proves where the business, again, with this partnership, I think it proves where it is.
One of the interesting things, it's also going to be a massive boost for UK the UK viewers of the WWE, because I've just been reading, and this is an approximate figure, but TNT Sports is in approximately 1.5 million homes in the UK, and probably less than 100,000 will be on the WWE network in the UK.
Mm.
Netflix in the UK is in 16.5 million homes.
There's probably not many people on the planet that haven't got a Netflix account. Let's be honest. Whether you've got you've got the one with the adverts, in which is fair enough, or you've got the top end one with no advert. I think there is pretty much everyone on the planet, and everyone I spoke to today. Do you know? Is it going to be broadcast? How's it? It's going to be live on Netflix, and then we can just watch it how we would a normal show on catch up, or it's going to
Assume
be.
so.
Yeah, I'm assuming we can just click on something and it's 1 a.m. and we can watch Raw
Yeah.
live. Or
I
we
suppose
just
it'd be like that thing that when you're watching your favorite programs, isn't it? When you've got like a series, it's going to be a series, like a series, isn't it? Like
yeah,
Raw is a series, it's every week.
longest running episode TV show ever.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll probably run like you would normally do, like if you're watching, I don't know, I used to watch Power on Netflix, or
Good show,
Fool Me
mate.
Once or whatever, or something like that. It'll be like that. It'll say new episode, and then you'll be able to click on. It is an interesting one, though. I was just thinking about this on the way home. Does that mean a remove away from a PG product?
I would edge on the word of yes. If it's going to be on Netflix, you've got a little bit more scope. I mean, what's that one that's on Netflix now that everyone's going on about?
Right,
It's
wrestlers, isn't it?
No, oh my god, it's my friend told me about it. It's absolutely disgusting, but it's on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. The geezer does something. Yeah, I'll text it to you after it. But there's no scope on Netflix. I think it could be. We're not going to get back to an Attitude Era kind of Raw. I think it'll go a bit more hard edge now that with this, the partnership with the UFC. I think we could see a lot more crossovery kind of stuff come into it. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I didn't see any negative feedback. I don't know what obviously if you've been scrolling through Twitter or Facebook or any of the dirt sheets today, it'd be interesting to see what people like Meltzer and all that lot write.
Funnily enough, Meltzer has nothing to say about WWE, but he's basically come out and said that currently at the minute AEW is like the WCW in the 2000s. And
When they
he's
had
like,
like WCW Thunder and things like that. Jesus
in
Christ.
terms of the fact that it is so bad, like the attendances and stuff like that, like they were saying that AEW hasn't even sold 2,000 seats for Dynamite this week.
Because it's shit.
But it's that's what they're saying about that. But it's weird though, because I will wonder what it's going to be like on Netflix. I am really intrigued by it.
That first show, mate, they're going to pull out every single big gun they've got because it's going to be day one. So it's like what we got this year, January the 1st, it's going to be day one. For a fact that you're going to see The Rock, and it's going to be in January. Don't be surprised if that Raw show, they announced The Rock going in the Hall of Fame.
Could be.
So on the lead up to Mania, don't be surprised if The Rock, they'll roll everyone out, mate. They'll absolutely roll the red carpet out for that episode of Raw. I think it'll be brilliant. I really can't. I haven't got one bad word to say about this deal. I think it's incredible for wrestling and wrestling fans.
It's going to be interesting, like all the other stuff as well. Like WWE's award-winning documentaries, original series, and forthcoming. So everything is going to be. So it's literally going to be the WWE Network on Netflix. I'm just reading the new press release.
Are they shutting down the network in 2025?
It doesn't say that. It just says Netflix will also become the home of WWE, all WWE shows and specials. So even what I said earlier on, that they may just keep the network.
Pay-per-views could be on there. All the pay-per-views.
Pay-per-views are on there. Yeah, all the pay-per-views are premium line events, including special event shows and specials. So I was probably thinking they'll do a lot more like international shows and say network exclusives. But it's not.
It's going to be a network. Yeah, it's going to be Netflix. So, if they're in Saudi Arabia, if they're in India, like that show that we talked about it, but we didn't get to watch it. They went to, and it sold out like 70, 80,000 stadium. We didn't get to watch it. That will be on Netflix. If they come to London, that will be on Netflix. If they go to Australia, everything as a wrestling fan that you want. I wouldn't even be surprised, mate, if you can, part of the subscription, there's the odd house show on there. They're in Madison Square Garden. chuck it on Netflix. If CM Punk's fighting Cody Rhodes at Madison Square Garden on a house show, it's going to be on Netflix. It's
It'd be
going to
interesting.
be, the amount of money that's involved in this deal. As a wrestling fan, it's win-win.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Oh, NXT is going to be on it as well.
Yeah, I saw that today. Yeah, NXT is going to be
NXT.
so obviously they've got the deal with CW over in the States. Obviously
Yeah.
for us here it's the network, but yeah, because it's outside of America, we're
Good
going to get
network.
everything on them, mate. It's win-win for European and anyone outside of America. I don't get me wrong, America still get a good deal. They're still getting to watch all the content that on Peacock and everything like that. But for us as European fans, incredible.
Going to be great, and long really gone. There'll be the ratings then, when it's not really going to matter now, are they? The ratings.
It's going to be. That's the way the world is, though, mate. If you look
Yeah.
at how many, me and you host a YouTube show. Don't get me wrong, we're not doing it for clicks and likes, but you hear of all these like influencers now throughout the world. It's all about clicks and views, and you've only got to look at all these people that go into I'm a celebrity. Who are you? Like, who would have thought 10 years ago that a YouTuber would have gone into a reality show? All these people that do it now. That's where the world is now. It's
Yeah.
all about likes and clicks and views. Gone are the days of Raw drew whatever point million and WC Nitro drew this point million and the networks are battling it out. Well, now you've got this online platform and you can just go, well, then pay £16 a month and you can get everything. We don't
Yeah.
care who watches. You just keep, like you said, 4 million people in the
16.5
UK.
million in the UK.
16.5 million people just in the UK alone have got a Netflix account.
Yeah.
You haven't even factored America. You can put the UK and America about 8 times. It's so big. Their subscriptions over in the States will be ridiculous compared to ours. And it's mate, WWE are gonna, oh my God, they're gonna make so much money out of this. It's gonna be incredible.
Just before we finish up, the Rock has just commented again
Oh, go on. What's he saying?
Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm a long gamer. I like to build. What this is, if myself and Roman were to main event WrestleMania, and I mean this very respectfully, we could put on with us in the main event and this incredible group of men and women, we could put on the greatest and biggest mania of all time.
There you go, mate. It's going to be night 1 or 2, mate. We're going to get how is it going to be for is Roman going to be champ? Well, then this is what the discussion is interesting. Just talking point. Do you think Roman is still champion come WrestleMania, or he's going to be? To me, that just speaks night 1 and night 2. He's wrestling on both.
Yeah, I think he'll be champion going into WrestleMania. Whether or not it's Rock night 1, Cody night 2, or vice versa is another story. No pun intended. But it will be him and Rock doesn't need to be for a title. We've already mentioned that. They is going to be for a title. It's going to be called for the head of the table. That's going to be the
Do
title.
we get that elimination chamber? Rock's scheduled to be in Australia. Roman isn't at the minute. I know that, but they've got. Is the chamber match going to be the main event, or do we get a little something where it's Rock and Roman? Are they teasing something? Is there some sort of tag match? You remember when Rock originally come back and he tagged with Cena? That set up Cena Rock at WrestleMania from Survivor Series. And obviously Rock went on to beat CM Punk at the Rumble, which set up, so there's all so many things that you can factor into here. What a time to be a wrestling fan.
I was going to say that was what I was going to finish off with. Say what a time to be a fan. You've said no. He's got a great time to be a wrestling fan. With The Rock, and I think he may challenge him at the Elimination Chamber. I think Rock comes out and issues the challenge to Roman, and then I think there'll be like this. Well, I've already got an opponent kind of thing. Roman will respond on SmackDown. The Rock might do a couple of bits via satellite. He will probably face off with him. They would be really interesting if they'd done a fake, if they left it till like the day before, like the SmackDown before Mania, before they actually win. Because obviously he's going to be wrestling 2 nights, and he's going to have to face off with Cody or whatever. And then his music hits, The Rock comes out, and then there's 3 of them. They haven't ruled, obviously, there's not a rule out of a triple threat yet, but I still think it needs to be 1-on-1 with them both, like with The Rock and Cody. I don't like this triple threat idea.
Mega curveball / twist. Rock joins the bloodline.
Or the bloodline turn on Roman and go with The Rock.
Mate.
Could be. Who knows?
There's gonna be a moment like there is at every, like, I think it'll either be the Rumble or it'll be Mania, where me and you are like straight away texting each other like going, oh my in God.
Yeah.
You can't believe it. Look, CM Punk coming back at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Internet blew up. Something's gonna happen at the Rumble that's gonna make us go, oh my God, they've set up this.
Yeah.
And then the chamber, we're gonna be going, oh my fucking God. And then at Mania, we're literally just going to be sitting there for 2 nights, just, raging horny devils because we have no idea what's going to be going on. It's going to be incredible, mate. I can't wait.
It is going to be great, and we will leave it at that so we can get what you got to finish watching Raw.
Yes, I've got to go and finish watching Monday Night Raw so I can review it with your good self tomorrow, mate.
I've got to do some notes for our interview tomorrow with Jay Joshua
Yes.
ahead of his debut at Ignite. We have a very pissed off Ignite champion, Adonis Payne, because we
people you
sponsor
want to piss off? He ain't one of them, is he?
because we sponsor him. He's got to be in his bonnet. We're interviewing his opponent and not him. Which is, it is what it is. But obviously, guys, check us out on socials at HTT Buckle. Check us out. That's on X or Twitter. Or fuck knows what you call it nowadays. Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on all other social media networks, and we may be able to announce a new guest that's coming on in February. He's to give. Well, I'm not going to give you nothing away. Actually, we might be able to announce it very soon. But we've also got Alex Windsor joining us in February as well as obviously Jay Joshua, Francesca Oliver. Come to Ignite in a couple of weeks. You'll have another big announcement about something that we're doing with them. There could be another big announcement coming soon with something else that we can't talk about yet. But he has been Andy Delboy Burrows.
On A to douche.
I have been your host for this evening, Adam Cousins. And until next time, everybody, bonjour.